When I was 18, I locked myself in the music college toilet and cried for an hour. I think I would have been there much longer if not for the kaka. I had the keys and insisted that I got out. Now, why did I cry? I cried because I completely blanked out right in the middle of my solo guitar piece. I cried because my guitar teacher told me I screwed up. I cried because I was mediocre. The truth is, music is actually very difficult, and that this story could have gone two ways. One, I could have said, I suck, and I'm giving up. Or two, I could dare to be freaking awesome. So, I continued to dedicate myself to studying music for the next 16 years. I learned what I did wrong and fixed it. I found great teachers and begged them to teach me. I bought books, read them, but more importantly, applied what I learned. I kept learning, kept practicing, and kept improving. To this day, I'm doing the same thing. Learn, practice, and improve. I was once mediocre. Then I decided I wanted to be freaking awesome. I refuse to be mediocre. The idea is that you work at your craft every day to not be mediocre, so that you can be freaking awesome. Nowadays, as a music educator, I always tell my students to stop being mediocre. And today, at TEDxYouth, I dare you, and each and every one of you to be freaking awesome. So after spending hours and hours in the practice room, after many other performances, after 6 years, in 2004, I was offered a scholarship to study at the prestigious Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. This is where people like John Mayer, Wang Lee Hong, and Psy of Gangnam Style fame went to study. So off I went to the United States of America. In 2007, I graduated with a degree in jazz composition and guitar performance, summa cum laude honors. Now there's three kinds of honors, thank you. So there's three kinds of honors that you can get for the degree. There's cum laude, which is translated kinda awesome. There's magna cum laude, which is awesome. And summa cum laude, which is freaking awesome. And that's what I got from Berklee College of Music. Cold, and hardly anyone listened to me. After playing for an hour, all I got was $10 in tips. He stood there for a long time. After I finished the song, I said hi to him, and he asked me 4 questions. Do you read music? I said, yeah. Do you improvise? I said, yes, I do. Do you play jazz? I said, yeah, I do. Do you want a gig this Thursday night? And I said yes. And 3 days later, ta-da! I was in a band playing gypsy jazz in a Chinese restaurant in North Berklee, California, on the fancy street, Solano Avenue. One day the bassist told me that a vocalist and multi-instrumentalist was looking for a guitarist in her band. That was Tara Linda. Now Tara Linda has been described as enchanting, mesmerizing, and sultry. She liked my playing and invited me to join her band. This was the start of numerous musical adventures with Tara Linda. I was even on 2 of her albums, which became chart toppers. She flew me to Tucson, Arizona to record in Wave Lab Studios, a huge warehouse recording studio by amazing producer Craig Schumacher. This was the album that I played with Grammy winner Max Baca of the group Lost Tex-Mex and multiple Grammy winner Flaco Jiménez, most known for his work with Ry Cooder and Freddie Fender. Then I also played on a follow-up album, Torch and Sass, that we recorded in South Texas. In 2011, I moved back to Malaysia, but that didn't stop Tara Linda from hunting me down. Even though I had moved back to Malaysia, she insisted that I join her on her Europe tour. We played in Segovia, Spain, or as Tara described it, in the stage, in the glorious San Martin stage in the heart of the old town center. We also played in a rustic pottery workshop, where pottery was made by hand and was a family tradition passed down for 200 years. We didn't play there for one night. In fact, we played there for a whole weekend, 3 whole nights during the weekend, to a very receptive audience. And during my time in Amsterdam, I recorded my album, The Amsterdam Recordings. So I bussed at the subway station. I got a gig at a Chinese restaurant and met Tara Linda. I played with Grammy winners. I went on tour in Europe. My point is that you have to give it your all, even if you think no one is watching. Don't be mediocre. When I was playing my guitar out in the cold, I never knew that it would lead me to tour in Europe. I just made sure that I was freaking awesome, even if I was merely busking for tips from passerbys at the subway. Don't be mediocre, be freaking awesome. So how many of you have heard me play before? So many of you haven't heard me before. Well, if you haven't, you can come and say hi to me later. I'll be at the booth over there with some of my CDs. Please say hi, don't be shy. I'd love to meet you. But in case some of you are shy, here's a little something about me. I was never a child prodigy. The truth is, I started playing guitar really late. Unlike my other peers who started playing when they were 4, I was about 16 when I first picked up guitar. And guess why I did it? Yes, it was because of a girl. And she told me about this band. And the song was Smells Like Teen Spirit. And so my dad watched me play guitar every day for 3 months. And finally, he told me he would buy me a nicer guitar if I learned to play classical guitar and read music. So I learned. Though in between, don't tell my dad, I sneaked in some blues. Then I discovered there was a style of music similar to classical guitar, but was more chill, fingerstyle guitar. In music college, I learned to play jazz. And I discovered other kinds of jazz, like Brazilian jazz. When I was in Berklee College of Music, I was still fascinated with folk music and acoustic singer-songwriters like Elliott Smith. And even songs that you might love or really hate. And each time I learned these different styles, I still remember to don't be mediocre, be freaking awesome. Since I've been back in Malaysia, I occasionally get called to play with Malaysia's top orchestra, the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra, the MPO. So people, including some of my students, often ask me, how do you get to play with the MPO? Well, you have to read all kinds of music all kinds of styles. I have to sight read single notes, chords, jazz chords, funk, rock, classical, fingerstyle, swing, gypsy jazz, Brazilian jazz. Sometimes I would have to play one or two kinds of guitars. For the Pixar in concert show, I played 8 different instruments, 6 different kinds of guitars, and a banjo, and a mandolin. And the combination of all this was when I was called to be the classical guitar soloist for Distant Worlds, music from Final Fantasy. I was in the spotlight, right next to the conductor, Arnie Roth. And I was featured in 3 nights of sold-out concerts. And then, after the concert, I was signing autographs at the autograph session, right next to the famous conductor. You just cannot be mediocre. The work just doesn't stop. I still work at being awesome. It's not something that magically happens. It's a conscious daily decision. Now, how do you play with the leading orchestra in the country? Don't be mediocre. Be freaking awesome. So whether you plan to be a musician, a stand-up comedian, or a founder of a startup that raises $50 million, whatever you do in life, wherever you go, don't be mediocre. Be freaking awesome every single time. I mean, look at me. I started off by crying in the music college toilet. But I turned that around, got a scholarship to study at one of the top contemporary music colleges in the world, and graduated with highest honors. I was busking in the cold for $10, which led me to playing gypsy jazz in a Chinese restaurant, which resulted in performing with 2 Grammy winners, went on tour in Europe, and here I am performing with the Malaysian Philharmonic Orchestra. My message for you today: don't be mediocre. Be freaking awesome. Thank you.